Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning.
Joe, welcome. Thank you. I'm so glad you were able to join me today. I know I give you last minute notice all the time, but you're so good and thank you for that. I appreciate it.
I'm so glad you were able to join me this morning compared to the
Yeah,
story I heard.
Yeah, for everybody, what he's referring to had so many computer issues this morning. I
Oh, now you're freezing
actually
up. You've
canceled the
never
live
froze up
stream,
before.
and then all of a sudden my computer decided,
It-
oh my God. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Sorry, man. I'm back on my other internet, although I am trying it wirelessly in an attempt to not freeze up. But so much for that. The computer issues continue. I think Joe sent his computer people
you don't
through
want
the
what I
internet
got.
to mess with my computer.
You don't want what I got.
Well, I'm glad you're here, Joe. I truly am. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today, and listen. It's not like we got an inside track to the Trump transition team, but I think we're gonna talk about some of the promises that he made on the campaign trail. We're gonna talk about the outlook or our opinions on the outlook for where things are going, and yeah, we're gonna go from there. But let's see, is there anybody in the house this morning? Not yet. And listen, it's probably because I had to change the stream, and that's all I got to say.
Hopefully they'll swing in.
Yeah. I mean, I can see we got some people watching, and I appreciate that. Thank you. And we're live on X, YouTube, and Patreon at the moment. So if you are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, tick that bell icon. Matter of fact, don't forget, go ahead, visit Joe's channel. Link to his is in the description below as well. All right. I thought this would be a good way, Joe, to start things off. And I just kind of appropriate. When it was time for her concession speech, let me bring this up full screen. A squirrel showed up. Now we know it isn't Peanut, but it's like I'll take it as the ghost of Peanut. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Here we go. And you see it near the base, near the flag right there. Boom. How freaking spooky is that, right?
Yeah.
Nice. I mean, that's just perfect. Just perfect. Very poetic, in my humble opinion. Very poetic.
And I really do think that it would be so, man, in my opinion, patriotic if something was done to all the people who signed the papers, all the people who participated in that horrendous act for a pet.
I know.
So anybody who has a dog, a cat, a parrot, a goldfish, I mean, they can relate to, having a pet. It's an extension of you, especially for so many years.
It's part of the family, especially after 7 years. Exactly. That one, like 7 years. Oh.
But yeah, I would love to see justice
Dave,
on that. Hey,
welcome.
Good morning, Dave.
Appreciate you. Dave listen, he closed down that election live stream with us. God bless you, man. I appreciate all that support. We did.
Freezing up
it
again.
Ended up, I know, Joe, you were kind of watching in the background and such. Oh, did I freeze up again? Oh my God. I know you were watching in the background and such, but we were over 7 hours, like almost 7 hours, I think, in 15 minutes or something like that. I don't know that I can do something like that again. I was dead, man. I was dead. Anyway, all right. So let's keep clipping along here as I keep freezing up. But hopefully I can keep it going. This right here is something from, where was it? I want to say it was CNN, an after action on CNN about the race. It's about, I don't know, minute and a half, 2 minutes long, but I really want to listen to it because I think this guy, far be it for me to quote CNN, but I think this guy hits the nail on the head. So let me pull a full screen and we'll run it.
This is a mandate. Has won the national popular vote for the first time for a Republican for the first time since 2004.
Huge, right there.
This is a big deal. This isn't backing into the office. This is a mandate to do what you said you were going to do. Get the economy working again for regular working class Americans, fix immigration, try to get crime under control, try to reduce the chaos in the world. This is a mandate from the American people to do that. I think I'm interpreting the results tonight as the revenge of just the regular old working class American,
Exactly.
the anonymous American who has been crushed, insulted, condescended to. They're not garbage. They're not Nazis. They're just regular people who get up and go to work every day and are trying to make a better life for their kids. And they feel like they have been told to just shut up.
Yep.
When they have complained about the things that are hurting them in their own lives. I also feel like this election, as we sit here and pour over this tonight, is something of an indictment of the political information complex. I mean, we've been sitting around here for the last couple of weeks, and the story that was portrayed was not true. And we were told Puerto Rico was going to change the election. Liz Cheney, Nikki Haley voters,
Right.
women lying to their husbands.
Right.
Before that, it was Tim Walz and the camo hats. Night after night after night, we were told all these things and gimmicks were going to somehow push Harris over the line. And we were just ignoring the fundamentals. Inflation, people feeling like that they were barely able to tread water at best. That was the fundamentals of the election. And so
Indeed.
I think that both parties should always look at the results of an election and figure out what went right and what went wrong. But I think for all of us who cover elections and talk about elections and do this on a day-to-day basis, we have to figure out how to understand, talk to, and listen to the half of the country that rose up tonight and said,
yeah, the half of the country that went like that. I now, I don't know about you, Joe, but I'm surprised as hell to even hear that on CNN. Just saying.
Yeah, big time. It's I don't think that they. I mean, I mean, it's already been a day already. You know, where are all the people that were bad mouthing them? Like they're all quiet right now. They're embarrassed. So,
well, and again, I love the fact that not only did he get the Electoral College, but he got the popular vote.
Right.
So basically, what are you going to say to that? Oh, there is nothing, like they've said before with, the even though we got a Republican president, he didn't get the popular vote. Well, this time it was like a double barrel, basically.
Elon Musk actually posted it yesterday where, let me read it, but,
I think I know the one you're going to pull up. Go ahead.
So I'm not sharing the screen or nothing, but I just read it. It says massive red wave success. It's basically a landslide. The Republicans won the presidency, popular votes, Senate majority, House majority,
yes,
state governor majority, state legislator majority. Like people were fed up. People were fed up with all the stuff that they had to put up with. Right. Yep. And I mean, that's pretty bad when this is screaming how horrible the last administration was. Just screaming.
Yep. And yes, Dave, you're right.
I mean, this has never been done before. This is literally historic. Historic.
Yeah, we did have a blast, Dave. We did. That was a great end to the live stream. Dave was even dancing with us at the end there. Dancing with us. Listen, the one other point I want to make, I've got a bunch of other stuff, and I promise, we're going to bring this back into crypto. I promise, but I just think we need to frame everything properly because crypto, even though I think was a great influence as far as like him winning, I really do. I think the people who are crypto voters did what they said they were going to do and went out there and voted and made their voices heard. And we're going to look at that because, like Joe just mentioned, it wasn't just the president. Congress has now over 200 new pro-crypto candidates going into Congress next year. That's humongous. That's humongous. And like Joe said, up and down the ballot. Because even in the locals, and we're going to get into that. But one other thing I wanted to point out was the only states that she actually won, or okay, I don't want to say only, but she won all of the states that require no voter ID. I'm just going to put that out there.
I saw that also from Elon Musk.
Oh, Joe, you're mute. You were muted.
Oh,
wait, now you're back.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that also.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah. On my end, it looks good, but I
Okay.
saw that also on Elon's post where the states that she did win, like you said, no voter ID. How
Exactly.
what a coincidence! What a coincidence!
And that's my point. And that's my point. All right, let me keep going here. A couple of other things I want to point out as we work our way into the crypto end of things here. Wait, I've got them in order on purpose because I think they here it is right here. Here's the next one I have. Now this is another video. This is Fox News, but they're talking to yeah, help me here, Mr. Wonderful O'Leary, Kevin O'Leary. I'm having a brain cramp there. And he talks about the election in general, but I want to touch on him because he also talks about like the economics of this a little bit, and I think it will be important. Jar in the house, welcome, sir. Appreciate you being here as always, my friend. Appreciate you. All right, so let's give this one's a little bit longer, and maybe we'll stop it in between, Joe, and throw our 2 cents in there. But let's let him.
How do you read this? I'm going to stay on this theme for a moment and call this perhaps the greatest night the Democratic Party can ever have if they lose. And let me explain.
And at the end, it's kind of funny. Listen to the very end. The obviously everybody in there is Democrats, right? Even at Fox, go figure. But like at the end, one of them couldn't hold their tongue anymore. It was like, no, we don't want to lose, basically. You know what I'm saying? This is not good news. But anyway.
That I was very troubled just over 100 days ago when they circumvented the democratic process and anointed somebody.
Yes.
The analogy is easy to a Super Bowl. You arrive at the Super Bowl game, and by any measure, this is the Super Bowl of global politics, a presidential race. Your quarterback, Biden, is injured. He's taken out of the game. You don't bring a quarterback in that's never, ever, ever won any game anywhere. You run a process, and they missed that opportunity. This is a chance for them to, I'm not saying they're going to lose, but I'm going to those percentages and saying, they get to reboot. They get,
and I just want to point out that this was done before the election was actually called, even though Trump was in the lead at the time. What do you think, Joe? Do you think Democrats are thinking about it this way?
It's a perfect analogy for everybody who knows like football. This is a perfect analogy. You know, bringing up the Super Bowl, like this is when it's like you have fought to get to this point, and now, of course, you know, referring to the quarterback getting injured. It's you don't bring in somebody who hasn't played any game. So
Yep, I'm with you. All right, I'm gonna try and put it back. Sorry guys, technical difficulties this morning all the way around the board. Actually, I just want to acknowledge Crypto Candy's in the house. Appreciate you being here, man. Appreciate you. And shout out for Joe. Always a shout out for Joe. Joe's the beast, man. He is. All right, we're gonna kick this back.
to go back to the center. They get to scratch this whole thing, and the influences of a Schumer or a Pelosi or a movie star or an Obama deciding to anoint somebody, those guys are gone.
Yeah, exactly.
In 4 years. They won't have that kind of influence. This could be great for America because I'm an investor. I have to work with who's ever in the White House in January. But I care about policy. And when I hear policies coming out of a party that are so twisted against the American way of life,
to the ones he points out,
basically taxing capital gains that are unrealized, that's not America.
No.
Or price controls, that's not America. 28% tax rate takes us to the bottom quartile of competition. That's bad. We can't do that. That would hurt the country. And all I do is work with entrepreneurs that want to build businesses. There's a reason people come here under barbed wire and drown in rivers to get into America. It's the American dream. It's the only thing the president has to do is to maintain it. Those policies are against the American dream. And I have nothing against Harris. I mean, look, she did a masterful job in getting to where she is. It would be good for them to lose tonight. It would reset and reboot and get that party back to the center. It would be good for them. They may not want to hear that.
We don't.
But they may have to.
Right there. We don't. We don't.
Kevin, you may have.
Yeah, we don't want to hear that. That's basically the end of it, guys. So that's why I cut it off. But that's Fox News.
That's a great clip. That's a great clip.
Fox News, and you got them right there saying we don't want to lose. You
No,
know?
but he brought up like really valid points, whether you're swinging one way or you were swinging one way or the other.
Yes.
Some very valid points. You know, all the stuff that she wanted to do was going to further destroy uh, just the economy, period.
Yes.
And what I don't understand is I'm sure she has very smart people, or had very smart people to tell her, that might not be a good idea because of X, Y, and Z. But then, 90% of her staff had left during her, term or whatever, just
Yep.
because of the way she was. So I'm pretty sure if they did tell her, she was very hard headed and said, "No, this is what I'm going to do. This is, I don't need to explain it to you. This is what's going to happen." So,
and in fairness, Joe, right? I mean, we all operate
oh, it froze up a little bit,
from
but you were
an
saying that we
emotional
all
spot
operate
at some
what?
point or another, even when we're did I freeze up again? From like an emotional point at some point or another, like even when we're confronted with the facts, even
Right.
when like the facts are in our face, sometimes we just can't back up and go at things.
Now, I have a question for you on this. This is more so like a personal thing or something you've experienced or witnessed. I know as a man, if somebody tells me that I'm wrong, like it's yes, humiliating and the pride, but it's like, you know what, dude, you're right, man. Like I didn't see it that way, but you're right. But now if you do that to a female, they are completely different. They will literally lie to you in your face, look at you dead in your eyes, into your soul, and say, "No, I am not lighting my hand on fire. No." They will literally do that. But men, you could be, and it's not being sexist or anything like that, but just think about it. If you confront a man, and yes, there will be pride and everything else, but eventually be like, "Man, dude, I didn't
Well,
realize that, man. I'm sorry."
no, I mean, at least I would hope so.
Right.
And I will say that, back in a younger day, I might have been that guy going, screw you, this is the way it, you know what I'm saying? Because of the pride, or I don't want to be
Right.
wrong, or whatever. I'd like to think I've evolved from that a little bit. And at least, even if I'm resolute in what I'm thinking, I am willing to at least listen.
Right.
Because maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm
Right.
missing something. I don't know.
And that's the hardest part too. Like when you are doing something and you think you're right, somebody could be telling you something and you just don't want to hear it. Like you're just waiting for them to stop talking so you can talk.
Yes.
So that's the bad part.
Unfortunately, that's our society at this
Yeah.
point. It really is, especially on social media.
Oh yeah.
Especially on social media. Okay. I don't want to keep dragging it down these down these roads, but I think this discussion is important. Yeah. Well,
Right.
yeah. I think these discussions are important. I really do. And I
I do
think
too.
it's why we saw what we saw with the election. My 2 cents. My 2 cents. Listen, if you're liking this, I appreciate everybody being here. I can see we got a bunch of people. Thank you. Appreciate you. Don't forget, if you're new, like, subscribe, share, get this information out there. Don't forget to follow Joe over here. His link to his YouTube stuff in the description of this stream. And all right, let's get on to the next one. Now we're going to start slowly working our way into the into the crypto stuff here and what Trump's
And what Trump's going to do. So
said he
yeah, that'll
was
work.
promised he was going to do. Oh, wait, here we go. And now we pointed out, everybody was on my election live stream. We pointed this out right here about PolyMarket. I kept going back to PolyMarket, and he's this guy. I'm not even sure who he is. I'm not even sure if I'm following him, to be completely honest with you, but I thought it was perfect. Right here, make no mistake, PolyMarket single-handedly called the election before anything else. The global truth machine is here, powered by the people. And he's 1000% right. I mean, Trump was up on PolyMarket right from the get. Because people took the time to put their money where their mouth is. And even when Harris had that what's the word I want? Had that kind of surge there at one point, like the week of the election, like a week before the election. Even then, it still was what it was. And throughout the night, I kept updating it, and you could see how everything was just like resolving in real time. I think that's Web3 at its best. Any thoughts about that, Joe?
I agree. 100% agree.
Fair enough. Oh, Tech Man in the house. Good morning, sir. Appreciate you being here. Awesome. All right. So that was the first one. And now here we go. And I'm gonna diverge from what after this, I'm gonna diverge for a minute from what I had, the way I had it planned out. But first things first. Dennis Porter. And again, you guys know I talk about him a lot. Part of the Satoshi Action Fund. He's working at a state level to try and get cryptocurrency and Bitcoin adoption. And yeah, boom. I mean, this guy is in it to win it. And right here, he makes this point. It's official. Being anti-Bitcoin is a political death sentence. So oppose Bitcoin at your own risk. I mean, I agree, double thumbs with that one. Right, Joe? I mean, again, I think crypto helped to make this a mandate.
Right. Yeah, I agree.
Jar is saying my only issue with PolyMarket is it's international and you are getting the global opinion. Yeah, I get what he's saying. And he followed up with not just Americans. Yeah, yes, you're correct. But I don't know. Something about that says it might be better. Because well, okay, maybe for some things, maybe not for others. But
yeah, I can see your point, how the overall consensus would be better versus just, the US. And right now you're still frozen, so basically I'm just stalling until you unfreeze. But yeah, I mean, I've never actually seen that website before prior to the election. So with that being said, it was pretty interesting to see just the different things coming up, and it was how accurate it was. It was extremely accurate in reference to who was winning and why they were winning, and he's still frozen. So let's see how long I can do this. Now, if you think I'm doing a great job, guys, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you think I'm doing a great job. Where as soon as it happened, well, I started talking. So I would like to see ones in the chats, and hopefully we're still streaming. I do believe, yes, we are still streaming. So right now, I don't think I can actually show my screen, but just to let you know, guys, this is really to me, it's really amazing how far we've come. Before, when you would talk about crypto, like, you would literally be, in my opinion, it was like religion, to where nobody wants to hear about it. You have something super exciting to talk about, and nobody wants to hear it. But now, this last season, we had the Super Bowl ads. Remember those? Last season we had a bunch of Super Bowl ads. We had a bunch of exchanges, being put out there. You had the racing, the F-150s, not F-150s, but the Formula F1, the racing. Those were, had crypto.com on there and crypto sites. UFC had that as well. Just different sporting events had crypto information on there. So for me, we've come such a long way. And then, of course, with Trump saying, hey, it was so funny too on that speech where he was at the Bitcoin conference, and he was saying, we're going to, on day one, we're firing Gary Gensler. And everybody just erupted. And then he was real surprised too, because he doesn't know this. I don't think he knew him or how bad we hated him. And then he looked real surprised, like, see, I like that. So on day one, and he repeats it, like, oh, that was classic. That was classic. All right.
Well, thank you for maintaining while I'm losing my internet left there. I'm telling you, the gremlins are out.
Yeah, and the worst part about it is going to take you several weeks to kind of weed out all the little things, and it's horrible, dude. Like, I know exactly. From time to time, I go through that. It's like, what's going on? Like, why? Like, everything's the same. I didn't do anything. I didn't download anything.
Yep.
So yeah.
Well, I appreciate everybody's patience. Joe, thank you for picking up the mantle there. When I left off, I was talking about it's bad to be anti-Bitcoin, bad to be anti-crypto, and I'm guessing from what Joe was just talking about, where he said about firing Gary Gensler, that's one of the things I'm going to talk about later. That Joe kept it on that road. But listen, you got to call the good with the bad, and here is the bad as far as I'm concerned. Unfortunately, John Deaton did not defeat Elizabeth Warren. Although I will say this, he got 40% of the vote in a state that is literally a one-party state.
Next time around, I think he's going to win it.
I
hope he does.
Yep. And again, I think he had a late start. I think two, he had like beside the crypto people, perhaps in Massachusetts, whatever, knowing him or whatever, people just didn't know him. You know what I mean? And he was running he was going to the fairs, he was going to the parades, he was going to the, that kind of thing to run it that way. You know what I'm saying? So, but unfortunately, it was called pretty quickly. I think we had it on our live stream toward like midnight or so, but I think it was called before that. But so again, unfortunately, we got to deal with Elizabeth Warren and her crap going forward. However, I wonder, Joe, what do you think? Because she had that hard fought race and has lost a lot of her supporters in Congress, do you think she's going to back off?
No, I think she's too stubborn and prideful for that. I think for me, just reading her body language and the way she looks, and I'm basing it just off of her looks and some of the stuff that she does. Yep. I think she's just too prideful, and she won't leave until she gets either voted off the island or something happens to her. So.
Voted off the island. I like
voted off the island. You're fired. Yeah.
Hey, listen, we got a bunch of people still watching the stream. Throw your thoughts. Do you think Elizabeth Warren's going to back off, or is she still coming full throttle for crypto, even though it's obviously a losing proposition all the way around? Tell us what you think. Put it in the chat.
All right. There's too many people for crypto.
Yes.
And she's like the oddball now.
Yes.
So, yeah.
She is on the wrong side of history at this point. All right, so let's start getting into some of this and what he promised to do and that kind of thing. I know we're kind of going long here, but I appreciate everybody's patience. This, and again, links are in the description, but let's just touch right here. Even if we just go on the headline here, Bitcoin as a reserve asset. I don't know, Joe. What are you thinking? Is that going to happen or what?
I don't think it'll happen. It'll be good. It'll bring all the naysayers to realize, hey, this is a real thing now. Before it was gold, and now we have it backed. So I mean, I think it'd be good, but I don't think it'll happen.
You don't think it'll happen? Okay. Okay. I believe that it's going to happen to whatever degree. Now, happen. Let's clarify. The fact that they either hold the Bitcoin that the Biden administration didn't sell already, and or start buying it. I think that he is going to try to make that happen. He has the ability to do that in Congress. Now, I'm not saying that's a day one thing. I'm not even saying that's a first 6 months thing. But eventually, like through the course of legislation, I don't know. I'm optimistic about that particular one. I'm optimistic. Right. So all right, let's look. What about Free and Ross? What are you thinking about that one, Joe?
I'm not too familiar with that, to be honest. What is that one about?
He's the one that had the whole Silk Road, and he yeah. So, and Trump promised to free him on day one. He's already done 10 years for stuff that, you know, Congress people literally do every day, but let's not get me going about that.
Right.
But he promised that, as a matter of fact, he said that, I think the first time he said that was when he was addressing the Libertarian Conference. And he said that, and that was one of the only things that got him like rounds of applause everywhere, was about
Right.
freeing Ross.
Yeah, in my opinion, I don't think Ross should have gone to prison. It should have been a fine for sure, you know, because you're hosting a site that stuff is being done on. You're not actually doing it. It's a way for people. It's on a marketplace, so
Yes.
you can't be responsible. Now, granted, you could have rules and regulations to where it's like, oh well, you can't do this or you can't do that, but that was the freedom of, you know, the internet at that time, to where it's like, hey, you can do whatever you want. And so I think he should have been fined, but not prison, because in my opinion, you can't control what they're selling. Granted, you can moderate it, but
Yep.
that's my thought process. Fine, yes. Prison, no.
And you're right. You know, you can't control it. And you know what? Given the negativity of the Justice Department toward cryptocurrency, I could even see the prison time, but like life in prison?
2 years, 5 years. No, not even 5 years. Two
Come
years
on.
and a fine.
Come on. I mean, that's just it's just outrageous. Just outrageous. My opinion. My humble opinion, and we know how humble I can be. All right, let's bring this back. Firing Gary Gensler. Now, to just put the pin in it, I guess Trump technically can't fire him as he's like contracted at this point. But I think he can put a new, as I understand the law, person in his place as the acting chair of the SEC. So going with that, that would effectively be firing Gary, I guess.
Yep.
What do you think about that? Is that happening, Joe?
Yes, I say yes. Not only that,
I agree.
I mean, he's a man of his word. So if he said it, he's going to do it. Now, granted, you know, hopefully it is, you know, already in the process, if not already done. But it's not going to take him, you know, a year to do it. So.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, there's a lot of, he has a big apple to be taking bites out of that has nothing to do with crypto. So, you know,
yeah,
as long as it gets in there.
He's got a lot of fixing to do. He really does. I mean,
he really does.
He's been thrown in the kitchen with all the pots and pans all on the floor.
Everything's on fire, man.
And, so he's got to clean stuff up before he can bake that cake. So we'll see.
Yep, everything is on fire. All right, there's a couple more in this article, and I'm scrolling down right now to just get to them. So as you read this, again, link is in the description. As you read this article, he with all this stuff we're talking about right now, mining. He said that he was going to protect your right to mining Bitcoin and cryptocurrency here in the United States via legislative process. I think that's definitely going to happen. Again, like you said, the timing, I don't know, but like I think that's a happening thing. What do you think about that, Joe?
Agree, 100%.
Yep. I think he was orange pilled again. Remember, and many people have pointed out that his last administration was not crypto friendly at all. Definitely not. And no argument. I mean, that's where the whole Ripple case started with his outgoing SEC chair, right? So I get it, but I really think that he's surrounded himself with enough people who are positive crypto that he's finally got it in his head like, that makes sense.
Right.
My opinion. All right, let's take a look at another one that I think is very important here and is important to the crypto industry as a whole right here. Self-custody. The right and ability to be able to self-custody your own assets without having to worry about KYC to do it or being a money transmitter or whatever. I think that is a core tenet of the cryptocurrency space. And honestly, I think it's something he's going to work at, my opinion.
100%. 100%. Like that to me, that's the most important thing, because if you don't have if self custody, you're relying on somebody else to hold your money, and then
And
what
you've got
happens
nothing
if
more than
you
the banking system.
right?
Exactly.
And then what happens if that third party goes against you for whatever reason? You're not paying your taxes, or there's a some kind of issue against you. They can easily freeze your account. So
Yep.
it's not your money. You can't access it. But
Yep.
self
Not your
custody is so
keys, not your
important.
crypto.
Yep.
Exactly. Yep. Joe, I'm glad you and I are mostly on the same page here. That's awesome. I appreciate that.
Right.
Let's see. Crypto. Yeah. Seeing Crypto Candy agrees too. Yeah. There you go, brother. I agree. Oh, crap.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna say, did I freeze up again? All right. Let me get the next one up here that I just showcase, and we'll talk a little bit more about this. Now, wait, where is it? Right here. This one highlights now. It talks about Trump winning, obviously, and yay, and that kind of thing. But the more important point here is that we now have huge numbers of pro crypto Congress people, and you scroll down, it goes through the whole thing here. And I'm going to actually hit this because I forgot to bring it up, and I'm going to bring that up, and it shows you how many pro crypto Congress people. We just took a major swing. I mean, literally, it's not even my opinion. Facts are to pushing a pro crypto agenda. I mean, did you have? I'm not sure in your particular neck of the woods. Did you have a congressperson or a senator up for grabs down there, and were they pro crypto, Joe?
I have no idea. I'm very. I'm not too much into the political part. All I know is that Trump was going to be good for us, and JD Vance.
Yeah,
So
no, fair enough. Fair
those
enough.
are it.
I get it. I understand. I can tell you what's Candy saying. Yeah, truly amazing crypto forever. Well, it's funny. I didn't put it in here, but did you see that tweet that came out, Joe, where basically they were talking to somebody on the Democratic side, and they basically said that, listen, we're done fighting crypto. It has more staying power than we thought. Democrats they were talking about.
Right.
So I think that was huge. That was huge. It's amazing Trump made an impact. Yes. I mean, listen, we had RFK talking about it before Trump even talked about it. But I think the fact that Trump did embrace it and did talk about it brought crypto more to the forefront during this election cycle. I mean,
Big time.
Yeah, I'm assuming you agree with that, Joe. I mean, I'm
Oh,
making
yeah.
a lot of assumptions here, guys, on Joe's part here. So, Joe, feel free to
It's
tell me to shut up.
100%. Yeah, no, it's 100%.
All right, listen, let's bring up those numbers real quick. And then I got one more thing, and then we're going to let Joe take a look at the markets because we've seen some all-time highs on Bitcoin during and since this election cycle. But first, let's look. Here's the numbers right here. So the House of Representatives picked up 263 pro crypto, or now has 263 pro crypto candidates. So they picked that up. That's huge. That is huge, and outnumbers more than 2-1 the anti-crypto.
Yeah, the anti-crypto. Yeah.
Yep, totally just decimates them. And then in the Senate, we picked up 18 pro crypto candidates. Unfortunately, we didn't lose Elizabeth Warren out of this 12 pack here. But I still think a move in the right direction, right? I mean, I think that's huge.
Yeah.
Huge numbers.
This is so great for crypto. It's amazing. Slowly but surely, pretty soon when you talk to somebody about crypto, there is not going to be like some kind of foreign religion where yeah, I don't want to hear that. Now when having family dinner or even Thanksgiving dinner, you're talking to people about crypto. So
Yes.
it's amazing.
I agree. You know what? I had the CEO of Bitwise that put out he thinks this is now a crypto revolution. Da, 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 da. He was kind of a little long-winded for me, so I just shut that down. We'll move over to markets a little bit. Yeah, it's Gary Gensler was a teacher. Yeah, exactly. It's like he was all rah rah sis boom bah when he was at MIT, and now it's just like smash like Hulk smash. You know, that's what he's like. What's to say? Yeah, no one wants to get rid. Yeah, keep them poor. Exactly. That does seem what it seems like, right? Right. All right. Yes, time to go over to trade intuition. Yes, because the man has it down. Now, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, but like the markets as a whole, and I'm talking like stock market, the dollar index, Bitcoin, crypto, everything's like up. Yes, I mean everything's been going crazy since the election.
Yeah, everything's up right now.
Okay. I thought so. I mean, I don't follow stocks and the Dixie all too much. But yeah, because again, crypto channel, right? But I'm gonna bring your screen up here, Joe. And I mean, we saw basically two all-time highs during the election, like when we were alive. And since I think yesterday we had another all-time high. Take it away,
Yeah,
Joe, and tell me, because yeah, everybody wants to know.
yeah, it's doing pretty amazing right now. I'm gonna go ahead and increase my font size. That way, everybody can see what we're talking about. So here, this was our all-time high, which was right at 75,397. So we just call it 75.4. And then since then, we created another all-time high right at 76,481. Now, of course, updated my group last night. Especially when it was right here, the price action I believe was right here. So right now we do have this trend line. Watch out for this trend line. If it breaks, then the next level is this level for us to see a retracement. And I'm gonna talk about the retracement in just a moment. And I drew this out last night. It's like, you know what, it might come down here to around the halfway mark of our accumulation box, or what could be accumulation box, then come up and then possibly come up to this level, creating a lower high. Right now, there's a lot of FOMO in the market. And I'm going to show you what I thought was going to happen immediately after the pump, but it hasn't. So I'll show you in just a second. So right now, it is coming up. And now we're going to see if we do break the all-time high again, or if we create possibly a lower high. If we do, be very careful, guys. Right now, it's so funny. Like retail, which is us, retail loves to buy the top.
Yeah,
When
it's
Bitcoin's
true.
at 15, 25,
Yep.
35, 50, they're not interested because, it's going to go lower. But then when we reach 76 and 80 and 85, that's
Yep.
when they're going to be buying. Do not buy the tops. And that's the thing that I was stressing so much to my community yesterday, especially, because all these candles, the market in general, like you said, the market in general is going up. And when that happens, people tend to want to buy.
Yeah.
But you
FOMO.
are their exit liquidity. You are buying at the top. And while people who bought, a couple of days ago or whenever, they bought at the bottom. So they're selling to you. And then as soon as you go, now you're going lower and lower and lower. There's quite a few charts that I was showing yesterday, I believe on YouTube as well, where it was like, this is the price, but don't enter right now. Wait a day or two. More than likely, it's going to retrace because some of them have pumped 50% and then some. So I mean, just think about it. 50%. People haven't been making 50% in a while. They're not going to hold on to this for 100%. They're going to sell it.
Yep.
So I do want to show you this. This is on the larger scale, and this is just showing that when we did hit the all-time high last time, all-time high, next day, these are daily candles, so these represent one day. Next day came down nice and hard. Next day, nice and fast, all the way down here. Next day, even further, kind of went sideways a little bit and then continued down before it went up. Then the next time it tried to go up, it didn't even reach this area, but next time it tried to go up, came down nice and hard, went sideways, and then dump city. So this, again, every time it tries to go up, dump city. Right now, right now, it came up. We did have a little bit of a dump. This was really nice, and then pump, and then this is of course when we broke our all-time high. Our all-time high was broken on this candle right here. So let me go ahead and put this for the all-time high, and this one will change it to an orange because orange man. So here, We did break it, and now are we going to continue up, or are we going to do what we've done in the past? And it's not only that one, it's any time we've done an all-time high. So back in 2021, back over here, let's go to, let's see, what date is this? November. Okay, so let's just do this really quick. Let's do the daily. Let's come down here to this, and this is 2021 November. That's fine. So here we can see the all-time high was right here. Next day it dumped, and then it continued to dump.
Yes.
Then here, same thing when we had the all-time high here. It dumped. So this is what I'm referring to in reference to, today. Like when are we going to see the dump? This is what I want to know. And so I'm stressing this to my community, especially, and on YouTube. Be very careful, because a lot of people right now are entering longs, and if you do enter a long, make sure you have a stop loss, but expect the dump, expect the retrace. So that's what I have on that. Now I do want to show one thing. This is Bitcoin, and I showed this to, I believe I made a video. I make so many videos for my group. I believe I made a video about this. This top one is Bitcoin. This other one is Bitcoin dominance. This other one is Total 3, which is the entire market cap, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. So it's not in that list. And then this one is the ES1 exclamation point. This is the S&P 500 E-mini futures. So this is the stock market. So everything in one glance. Now here we do have Bitcoin, where it started coming down. This is on the 1 hour time frame. A little pro tip: if you come over here to your where you can do the divisions of the screen, you come down here to the interval, crosshair, time, and date range. That way it's all lined up. So this one is lined up with this one, and vice versa. So that's a little tip. So here, Bitcoin, we can see it start coming down. Now it's gaining some strength. Now we got FOMO coming in. Yep. And now we have Bitcoin dominance also coming up. So when Bitcoin is going up and Bitcoin dominance is going up, so the easiest way to remember this: Bitcoin goes up, alts go up. Not as much, but they go up. Bitcoin goes down, alts go down. Now, depending on the dominance, depends if we're in alt season or Bitcoin season. So just to kind of, and I go over that on my show. So if you want to know more about that, just ask me on the show. Total 3, this is everything except for Bitcoin and Ethereum. It started coming down just like when Bitcoin started coming down. But as Bitcoin starts coming up, guess what the alts are doing? They're coming up. They follow Bitcoin. They really do. And then here's the stock market. The stock market is doing nice. So this is very important, guys, to watch all these. Not only that, but if you want to, you could go to the Dixie, the DXY. Yes. When the Dixie goes down, and this usually leads to the stock market going up, which is the ES1 exclamation point, which also leads the crypto market to go up. There's so much here, guys, but hopefully that does help. Hopefully I didn't talk too much, but
no, that's great information. And Joe also has a chart that kind of breaks it down right there. There it is. Ask and you shall receive. And yeah, so I mean that to me is hugely helpful, especially if you're new and you are looking to do a little bit of trading. That's huge information right there.
Yeah, for me, when I first saw this chart, it didn't make any sense to me. Like I could see and I could read it, but it didn't. For me, my brain works very differently. I'm not the smartest guy, but I tell you what, though, knowing what I know how to make money. And so whenever I teach this stuff, I don't regurgitate what everybody else regurgitates. I show you from experience. And like with the Bitcoin example, break it down to the simplistic form. Bitcoin's good, alts are good. Bitcoin's bad, alts are bad. And that's pretty much what it says here. And then when you understand the dominance that Bitcoin, it's like a pie. So the more Bitcoin that's in the market, well, the more percentage the pie takes of Bitcoin. The less dominant, well, that means that more people are buying alts. So that's pretty much how it is. And this is what this right now, when you're looking at dominance in Bitcoin and the alts, do not look at it like the hour, like what I was showing. This is just because I'm looking at like really, really in depth. You want to see, because don't think, we have the alt season. No, look at it for the days and the weeks as far as the dominance. Don't look at the hour. Right now, I'm just really tuned in because planning on making some money today. So we'll see.
There you go. All right. Now, I'm going to just pull this off the screen for a second because I want to ask you a question from a different perspective. You are looking at it, and feel free to tell me I'm an idiot, but you're looking at this from a trader's point of view. Yes?
100%.
Okay. Now, Crypto on the Rocks tomorrow night. Joe's going to be there. We're all going to be there. Make sure you're there. I look at it from a hodler's point of view. So, like we DCA into crypto, honestly, doesn't really matter if it's up, doesn't matter if it's down. We're DCAing over time and hodling long term. Now, with that thought in mind, Joe, does that change your perspective about buy now?
100%. So one thing that you have to do as a trader, you have to know what type of trader you are and what type of trade it's going to be. So you have scalp trades holding it 3 to 5 days. You have swing trades holding it for a few weeks. You have long-term holds, mid-term holds. You have hodler hodler to where it's an investor, really. So depending on your mindset and how fast you want to get paid out, depends on what you do. For me, in my opinion, the hodler mindset / investor mindset is the best mindset to have. For one, you're not worried about all the ups and downs. You're not worried about any of that stuff. If it goes down, you have to have the right mentality, though. Because if it goes down 40, 50, 70%, that's great. That's a discount.
Buy more.
You buy more, right? But if you see it as like, man, I'm losing 50%, you know what? Forget it. I'm just gonna sell it. No, it's not. It's unrealized loss. It's not realized until you sell, and then when you sell, well, guess what? If you had $100, you sold it. Now you have $50. Versus you have $100, it's now worth $50. You don't buy, you don't sell, you don't do nothing. You wait 6 months, 12 months, a year, or 18 months, whatever it is. Well, that $50 that you would have had, now it's $300.
Yes.
So again, it's not realized until you sell it. Same thing goes when you cash out. When you're up 8,000%, well, it's not realized until you cash out. So you can cash out little bit by little bit, but no, in my opinion, the investor mindset is the best mindset to have because, and I show this again on my streams, to where if you enter here and you sold way up here, but you entered here and the trader enters here, and the trading making 50%, 80%, 30%, whatever. And they're having to get, let's just say they get the best price when they buy and they're selling it at the best price. So they're doing this, making 40, 60, 80, 40, 60, 80, and this one just constantly going up. So by the end of the day, let's say they both sold at the same spot. This person made 800%. This one, with all the buying and selling and having to wait for the perfect entry and everything else, this one made 800%. This one made 450%, and they put in so much work.
Yes,
but there's, in my opinion, now this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to be teaching. Of course, I am teaching that right now as well. But in the meantime, we'll be trading so that we could add to our investment. And a great thing to do, if you have a coin that you're investing in, and when the price dips, because it will dip after a nice run up, when it dips, what you could do, since you're trading like this account, the extra $500 or $2 or whatever it is, as this dips, because this is your long-term one, you can just get money, put it in on the dip, and then it continues going up, and you're trading this one. And then as it dips again, well, then you get money, you put in this one. But I completely agree with you. Investing is the way to go. It's less stress, and you will make way more money than actually trading. Trading,
yes, over the long term.
Yes, trading is more so you can add to your investment bags. And then, in my opinion.
Well, but you, sorry guys, but you just brought up I think, a great point. You could do both.
Oh yeah,
you could do both.
You can do all of it. You can do scalp trading. You can do, to where you're only in it for a few minutes or hours. You can do day trading. You can do whatever you want to do. you can do it.
Yep.
So it's just
Yeah.
knowing how to do it and having the correct mindset. So whenever I'm doing my live streams, like somebody would tell me, "Oh, it's a long-term hold." Okay, thank you for telling me that, because that changes my
Changes
mindset
your perspective,
on
right?
the entry. Right.
Yes, yes. And I thanks, Joe. I appreciate you going through all that. I really do. I know we got a lot of things in the chat here. Sorry, I know I'm behind. Oh, and look, it's Candy. All right, yes, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Join us for Crypto on the Rocks. Appreciate that. Yeah, tune in tomorrow night. Hey, you guys can come and join. I put the link out. More the merrier. That's the way I look at it. Yeah, it gets
That's how I got hooked up with Keith, because he put out the link and I was like, you know what? Let me just click it and join it. You know, the dude seems pretty cool. I've watched some of his morning shows. Came on, and like I love it. It's my place to be. It's my place to hang out on Fridays, and of course Mondays. Monday mornings we do a stream together.
yes, 10
But
a.m. Yes,
it's a great time.
yeah, and we saved Joe a lot of money and bail money.
Oh heck yeah, bail money, you know, just beer money, everything. Yeah, man, it's a lot. So
Yeah, amen. Yes, Trump. Yeah, well, I agree. I don't think he's got empty promises. I think he wants to make good on everything he says. Yep, a few more days. What's these ETFs make no sense. That's not self custody. You're right. ETFs are not self custody. In my opinion, again, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. If you're in this space, first off, you don't want to even be looking at the ETFs, my opinion. However, for the average Joe US working guy,
401k lover.
exactly, you want access to it without having to really deal with it.
Right.
ETF is your place.
Right.
ETF is your place.
So for me, I like ETFs in the space, for the simplicity sake, just like how you explained it. You know, if you have a 401k, you have a Roth IRA, you have all this stuff, you know, and then someone you know, I forget what they call them, a broker says, you know, we have Bitcoin ETFs now. It's like, oh, Bitcoin, you know, I've kind of heard about that. Yeah, you know what, let me go ahead and do that too. So they don't have to do anything. They don't have to, you know, sign up for exchange. They don't have to, you know, write down their passphrase. They don't have to do all this work. Now,
Exactly.
when they realize, it's like, man, it's not mine per se. I'm hearing it. I'm watching YouTube now. I'm hearing all these people saying, not your keys, not your coin. Now let me go ahead and try an exchange. So it's like a bridge, you know.
Yes.
So in my opinion, ETFs are good. Granted, somebody who knows about crypto knows that that's the worst thing you can do, because again, it's not your coin.
Yes.
But it's a way to bridge them over here.
And get access to the volatility, the
Yes.
gains. Yes. But you know, in Candy's comment here that I just put up, he's talking about hedge funds, and that's the other piece. Joe and I, in what we're just saying, is talking like the individual, the me, the you, the retail person. But these hedge funds need that access in order to do it. That's the way they need to access this, right? I mean, Joe, feel free
Right.
if you got something about that. I mean, but and oh my God, Candy, really? Yes, you are correct, my friend. You are correct. Listen, I don't know, Joe. Well, let's get rid of this out of there. Anything else you want to jump in there with? I mean, I think we've kind of covered it. I think as a wrap up, I think we're saying that this is going to be hopefully a positive few years for crypto at this point with this new administration coming in. Anything else you want to throw out there about that?
All I can say is that it cannot get any worse. Anything that happens from here on out is going to be a plus.
Yes.
So I'm very happy and relieved that Donald Trump is now president. I'm very happy and relieved that he is for crypto. I'm very happy and relieved that we are striving to make a better place with crypto, and crypto isn't criminalized. So
Yes.
I'm just really happy to be in this space. I know we're all going to make a large amount of money. Of course, just be very careful. There are a lot of scammers out there.
Amen.
You won't realize this until you get scammed. I've been very lucky in the space to not get scammed from a crypto scammer. But you always have to be just put it this way. Everybody wants to steal your crypto. Everybody. except
Yes.
me, but everybody. Just think of it that
Except,
way.
except me.
Everybody wants to study crypto. So just be aware of that. Never share your keys, never share your logins.
Yes.
Be careful with what you put. So for me personally, like on my phone, I'm very careful with what I put on my phone. I don't have like I have a couple phones, but on this phone I have all of my apps and everything else. This phone I have my crypto stuff because all these apps, like if you look at the app, there was one app long time ago, of maybe 5-10 years ago, where there was an app where it makes your picture into a cartoon. I was like,
Yes.
oh, that'd be kind of cool. So I go and I look at the permissions, and this is the first time I've ever done it. I look at the permissions, and it says that it could track my keys, what I type. It can track my socials, where I'm going. It can track like all this. I was like, why would you need all that
Why do you
just
need
to
that?
change
Yes.
my picture to a cartoon?
Yep.
So because of that, like I'm so careful with games, with anything that I put on my phone, all of my stuff. This is my phone that I have all that TikTok and everything else. And then for the other phone, it's where it's
Don't lose it.
strictly a phone, pretty much.
Yep.
So just
Yep.
be very careful,
What a
guys.
phone is meant to be these days. Yeah.
Right, right.
Right. Hey, look, FF in the house.
Hey,
Welcome,
there he
FF.
is.
Welcome. And listen, just to touch on what Joe already said about scammers and everything else. Crypto Billy, we did an interview with him, live stream with him
Oh
on
yes,
Matrix Money Podcast, and he talked about how he was scammed. And again, here's someone OG in the space, as far as I'm concerned, got his head wrapped around the way scammers operate, but even because it can happen to anybody. At the end of the day, it can happen to anybody. And I encourage you to go back and listen to that and listen to how he got scammed. I'm just, you know what I mean? It just, man.
And one thing also, I know we're kind of getting off track, but one thing also, you want to protect yourself. If you're doing stuff on MetaMask, have multiple MetaMask wallets, have multiple sub accounts for your MetaMask wallet.
Yep.
If you're connecting to play games and stuff like that, have a separate one because they could get hacked and then take all of your stuff. Have separate emails. I have like 7 or 8 emails that I check regularly, but have different emails so that, let's just say, I have one email that is only for my bank, and I have another email that's for one of my exchanges. Now, if I get an email for my exchange email and it says your bank has been compromised, I was like, whoa, this is not my bank.
Automatically, it's like,
right. And I never open emails. I rarely open emails. And then if I do get something from my bank or from whatever, I log in to the bank. I never click on the thing to open it up. So just, man, be very careful. Have multiple exchanges as well.
Yes.
Because you never know, something could happen. But there's so many different like security features that you can do, and it just takes a few minutes. Granted, it can be a hassle, but would you rather have a few minutes of hassle every day, every other day, versus losing your entire accounts?
Yes. I mean,
And
if Josh,
you know me, guys, I have $14,
still
so I need to keep that
froze up.
$14. I can't afford it to lose.
Oh, what I was going to say was, I don't know if Jar's still in the chat there, but he'll tell you. I mean, he had the access to his YouTube account, et cetera, et cetera. He'll tell you. So, Joe, I think we'll wrap it up. I don't know.
Yes.
Okay. But tell everybody you're live every day. I know you swapped the time around. So where are we at right now?
Yeah, so normally I go live at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today, I'm going to go live again at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So what I strongly recommend, everybody follow me on Twitter, because on Twitter I do post when I'm, because this week and maybe even next week, I'm just kind of flipping and flopping as far as the time frames go. Right now, I'm getting pretty good results at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I might change it, though, just to see if we get more people. But on there, of course, we go over Bitcoin, we go over the market, we go over your coins, we go over thought process on entries. We're very cautious on entries. We take risk management. That's one of our major priorities is risk management, because I do not want you to lose money. I want you to win money. And it's just going to get easier and easier as the days go by. So, but
Excellent.
yeah, check me out every day.
All right, so 2 p.m.
2 p.m.
And links for Joe in the description, as always, and all my videos, all the live streams, they're there. Okay, so tomorrow night, Crypto Candy started talking about it, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Crypto on the Rocks. You can come on and join the stream. After that, we're on After Hours. That's behind a paywall because sometimes, we drink too much. But anyway, so just saying. But tomorrow, Crypto on the Rocks, I'd love to have everybody there. We've already got it out. Links are out there. So hopefully you guys will come and join.
Can't believe it's already gonna be Friday. Good Lord.
I know, right? These weeks are just like, bam. All right, Joe, any last minute thoughts for these guys? If not, we're out of here.
Just be careful. Don't FOMO. Have a stop loss. And let's make this money.
Amen. All right. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for being active in the chat. Appreciate you very, very, very much. And we'll see you tomorrow, Crypto on the Rock, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Later.
See ya.